Yes, what they should do from here, John. I think what's good is they do have that positioning in like the upper tier playing game pretty locked now. You're still gonna have Tatum playing night in and out. You're still gonna have Fournier playing. You probably put Rob on ice until the end of next week into that playing game. That gives him like a week and change to rest that toe. I don't know if it will fully heal in that time, but at least keep him off the court for these next 4 games. Kemba's going to miss 2 of those games since it's a pair of back-to-backs. So you are going to get some legitimate rest for some of these starters here. And losing 2 of these games or even 3 of these games probably doesn't hurt you all that much. They have the tiebreaker over the Hornets plus 2 games, as well as over Washington. So they're almost certainly going to be hosting this playing game. Cleveland's given up. They'll probably win that game. And that's probably all they'll need to retain that 7 seed. Now, where they go from there, who knows? But at least they'll have a fresh Kemba and something of a Rob going into the playoffs. I don't think you just – you can't – everyone's saying tank. Even if they lost all 4 games, you're dropping
No, they can't. But did we ever think we'd be at a point with 4 games left in the regular season where we'd be saying, hey, the good news is they probably can't play their way out of hosting the play-in game? Like – I mean, how friggin' far this team has fallen right now. This is the good news is the 7 seed seems pretty solid. That's pretty bad.
Well, this is expectations just slowly get lower and lower and lower.
Well, but we're being real about it. That's why.
Yeah, it's reality.
We should. I mean, do you know how crappy we would sound if we're talking about? Well, you know what? They're built to go deep into the playoffs. They can knock off Brooklyn with the team they got. That's bullshit. I mean, that's absolute bullshit. So, I mean, we're being realistic about where they are.
Even without Brown, they should win the play-in tournament. They should at least get that 8 seed. There's no reason they should lose twice to the first team. And, you know, it actually could be the Wizards coming into the Garden. I saw they were a game back of Charlotte, so that would be tough. But then you play, I don't know, Charlotte or Indiana at that point. You got to win one of those games.
I don't understand why that's your take. I don't understand.
You feel good about them playing Charlotte and Washington?
I don't understand how you – I didn't feel good.
Get it.
Those teams aren't that good.
I gave you a chance to not say this on the show today, Bob.
We gave you so many opportunities to not say this terrible take, and that was when they had Jaylen Brown.
Right.
What is it about this team? This one back, buddy.
What is it about this team that gives you all the confidence in the world that they're going to win a must-win game? What's one must-win game that they've won this year? I can't even think of one. They've won what?
4 of 6 against those teams?
One of the worst games of the year was against the Wizards. That was like when the season turned for the worse, that Sunday afternoon. Who could forget that game?
Then they beat them in 2 other games.
Yeah, okay, but this is
you know
the
what?
Wizards are one of the hottest teams
aren't that good. Those aren't even playoff teams.
The Celtics aren't that good, and they don't have their second best player, and they have one starting center who's healthy, and his name is Tristan Thompson.
What gives you such confidence in the Hornets and Wizards?
It's not.
Well, the Hornets just got back some kid named LaMelo Ball, who's pretty good. So they're going to be a better team by the time they get to the play-in game.
The Celtics.
I don't know what Melo's going to look like in a must-win situation.
The Celtics, as constructed with Jaylen Brown out, are you saying that they're a playoff team?
Yes.
I disagree. All season long without
Well, we'll
Jaylen
see.
Brown,
It's going to play out.
This team that's
so your prediction is that they're going to lose 2 games and bow out.
So they had Jaylen Brown all season, and they're like 3 games. They're like
no, if that's your prediction, go ahead. Put it down on the table and say they're going to lose in the play-in game.
Bobby, we're not. We're saying –
because we don't know who they're going to play.
Having confidence in their superior talent is a bit over the top and a little homery. Okay, it's not. They are not overwhelmingly more talented.
That's not what I'm doing here. I'm not saying they're going to go out and challenge the Nets or they're going to get above Miami.
You're not. You're saying they're clearly better than the other teams, and they're not clearly better. They're not clearly better.
What makes them?
I'm saying that they can win one game. I'm saying that they can win 1 game with 2 chances against teams that are worse than them.
They got 2 cracks at it.
We're not saying that they can't win, but we're saying why are you so damn confident that they are going?
Because these teams aren't good.
Neither are the Celtics.
They're better than these teams.
Round and round we go.
Listen, Jimmy, the Celtics have been banged up, struggling, coasting along all year. and they're still better than the Hornets. They're still better than the Wizards. They're still better than the Pacers. So what's that say about those teams?
Based on what? Based on a couple of games in the record? But Jaylen Brown's not on the team anymore. He's off.
He hasn't
He's not
been
playing.
here for numerous times all year. Rob has been out in certain games. Kemba's missed half the games.
He's played like 60-something games or 50-something games. Jaylen Brown's played almost 60 games this year.
But again, my point is the Celtics have done all this that you've mentioned. They've missed all these players, and they're still better than these teams. They should absolutely get through this play-in tournament.
And the Hornets
again, you're
missed
going to play
too. The Hornets missed Ball. The Hornets have missed Gordon Hayward. The Hornets have missed plenty of guys.
I'm just saying the Celtics are better than those teams. There still should be an expectation that they're going to win through this play-in tournament.
I just don't think the facts bear that out.
In a 7-game series,
look at the records.
In a one-game series,
looking at the records.
In a one-game series, anything could happen in the NBA. The best team doesn't always win.
It's not even just overall records. They have taken care of business against these 3 teams all year.
They're 2-1 against all of these teams.
Did they not get smoked by the Hornets with a full lineup?
Yeah, and then they smoked the Hornets in 2 other games.
But you don't know which team's going to show up. So why are you so confident that the one that you love
because they get 2 shots. They get 2 shots at home in each game.
Home has meant nothing this season. Absolutely nothing. How many times has the home crowd booed their team off the court?
Fair enough. Again, I just think they're going to get through it. And if you guys don't, then predict that they're going to bow out.
I'm not saying that.
You're allowed to think whatever you want, but I just don't understand. We are saying
it's a coin flip, and being overly confident in this team does not seem like the right stance.
I'm not overly confident. I'm not saying they're going to challenge the Nets round 1. I'm saying they're going to beat the Hornets in Boston in a game.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. I mean, Bobby, I love you to death.
But
I love you to death. But I gotta leave you on an island on this one, man. Because the Celtics right now are not a very good team. And the teams that we're talking about that they are contending with are not very good teams. But those teams have clear things that are working in their favor. You look at the Hornets; they are starting to look more complete. They're
Beal
not
just went down for the Wizards.
And the Wizards are probably the hottest team in the NBA over the last like 3 weeks.
And now Beal's gone. I mean,
good point.
I think they're gonna get through.
You need a break. You need a break like that. Yeah, if you're gonna play
the Pacers have nobody left.
Then yeah.
No, the Pacers. No, we're not talking about the Pacers because that's a team that I agree with you, Bobby. Celtics should have no problem beating them in a 1-game series. That team is dead on arrival. But Washington, I worry about. I worry more about Charlotte because Charlotte, I think, is a team that could beat them.
Yeah,
no,
Washington, I agree. A healthy Washington could. If Beal's out, obviously that's bad. You're saying 2 games. We'll see. Hamstrings are tricky. Whatever happens, happens. Healthy Washington, healthy Charlotte, that's a dead coin flip. And if you think otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. Like, sure, the Celtics could win, but to think that the Celtics are walking into that building with superior talent, given the current state of their roster over those teams, is crazy.
And and Bobby, here's the thing that to me is why it's more of a coin flip than ever. Because even when the Celtics have had stretches of play and passions where they weren't playing great, there was always a concern of the opponent that, you know what, we're still going to be in a dogfight. Even if they're not playing their best, they're still going to make this hard for us to beat. We're going to have to beat them. They're not going to beat themselves. We're going to have to beat them. That is not the mood now. Teams know they can walk into the Garden and play a pretty average game and probably go up by double digits because that's what 2 out of every 3 teams they play do, go up by double digits and get a win. And if you're talking a 1-game situation, if I'm Washington, I'm coming in here popping my collars thinking that we got this. If I'm Charlotte, I'm feeling very good about beating this team. And the Celtics, from a confidence standpoint, I think we all agree right now that confidence is probably a little shaken. When you don't have Jaylen, you're not playing good basketball. You don't know who the hell is going to be in your top 8 from 1 game. Forget 1 game, from 1 quarter to the next. There are lots of concerns that the Celtics have right now, which makes me concerned about what they can do in a play-in situation.
I agree with you on Charlotte, but I go back to the thing that you have 2 shots here. If you lose the first one, you get a second chance with even more urgency against a worse team. And fortunately, the schedule lines up in a way that I do think Charlotte might drop below the Wizards. So you get the Wizards in the first crack there, and then so on second chance you could even get the Pacers here. When I've seen the Pacers and Wizards play last week in that series, the Pacers were right there for them step to step despite their deficiencies. So again, I think the Celtics are in a class above these teams, where these teams are just going to kind of beat each other out, and then the Celtics are going to move on by default. Again, it's not a ringing endorsement of Boston. It's just I don't believe all that much in the competition here, and I get it. You've seen this team time in and time out.
These teams are in the play-in game for a reason, Bobby. All of them, including the Celtics, because they do not inspire that much confidence. The Celtics are
because they're unreliable.
The Celtics are one of these unreliable teams with issues. They are one of them. They're there. They are exactly who their record says they are. That's
fair enough. I just still think they're better than these teams. And you know what? If I'm wrong, if they come out and pull that Miami game in the 1-game play-in game, there'll be a big apology cam here. But I can't see that little urgency for the 1-game play-in game. I just can't, especially when they're tightening the rotation at that point.
Do you think Jason Tatum wants to play in the first? I mean, how bad do you think these guys want to have their season?
I'm sure they don't want to lose that way.
We talked about this last game that they might start checking out when they realize, like, we don't have it this year, boys. I
don't think they want to go out like that.
I don't think they want to go out like that, but but here's the thing. It's not so much how they want to finish the season, but do they want to extend the season? How badly do they want to do that? Because that, to me, is where I'm not really sure where this team stands. I don't think they go into games wanting to lose, but I do question how badly do they want to win. And there is a difference between them.
There's a big difference.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that if it was
lose.
No player wants to lose, right? No player wants to lose. No player is purposely tanking or anything like that.
Right, I don't buy that.
It comes down to the will to win, and let's be honest, the talent is an issue too sometimes. I mean, we've ordered a million times. The Celtics are a top-heavy team, and they just lost their 1A or 2, number 2 player. They don't have, I understand Fournier
they still have Kemba. They still
Bobby's
have Tatum,
godsend,
Fournier.
but they don't have enough
solid front court.
But they don't have enough to overcome it.
Tatum's got 30 million reasons to ball out down the stretch.
Tatum's just going to get double teamed to high heavens.
Tatum's going to go for 73 times.
Again, it's not going to be. You're not even Lord willing with Brad. You're not going to see Grant. You're not going to see Semi. It's going to be 46 minutes. It's going to be 46 minutes of Tatum. It's going to be 44 minutes of Kemba. It's going to be 44 minutes of Fournier, and that's your tight rotation.
No, it's not.
In a 1-game play-in?
No.
Those guys are going the distance.
1-game play-in. First of all,
I will give you high 30s for all those guys. I'll give you that.
In a play-in, yeah, they'll play 40 minutes. I thought you meant the rest of the season, every game.
Oh, no. But no, that's something that gives me even more confidence in them.
We got Nesmith starting finally, or what? Is he going to start?
No, because they're going to play the lineup they've been playing with Fournier.
Yeah.
No,
but he should be that rotation wing. That doesn't change.
Nesmith should be getting 30 minutes now.
Yes, he should. And he should have last game, but he played 19.
Yeah. We did mention that.
Nesmith is the new Rob.
If they go into the play-in game,
he's really, really good. Got to keep him to about 17, 18 minutes.
If they go into the play-in game, if they go into the play-in,
you know that meme with the guy, he's like walking with his girlfriend, he's looking back at the other girl? That's like Rob, and then
that's us and Rob.
Yeah, that's Rob
back there.
Nesmith, we're looking back at Nesmith now.
Rob's like, what?
If they go into the play-in game, mixing and matching lineups, trying Nesmith, trying Grant, trying Parker.
Trying to win. I applaud it.
I'll join the fire Brad camp. If that's the way they approach a play-in game, that's just not it. You cannot do that in a play-in game. Start transfers.
What do you know about play-in games? There's literally never been any.
I just know it's like a game 7. You gotta go in and win.
Exactly.
You can't be like, oh, let's see how Cornette looks in the third quarter. Let's see how Parker's doing in the second.
Wow,
you know that Nesmith's the best of all those players. Yeah, because I think it's gonna tighten up at center too at that point. You know what you have at this point. There's nothing else you can figure out. There's no time left for experimentation. So you have to go based on what we've seen at this point, and Nesmith has earned that backup role. And he's got to be the one who gets the most leeway there.
Okay.
I'm surprised they didn't. Knowing what we know now about Brown, I don't know how Nesmith didn't get 30 minutes yesterday. Just start preparing for that.
No, we don't understand anything that happened yesterday with the rotation.